Everybody, what is going on? So today in this video, let's talk about, is the Nemo Submarine Voyage going to ever come back? Is it ever going to reopen at Disneyland? Now, I'm a big fan of Fresh Baked, okay? And Dave over at Fresh Baked does these live streams. It's like every 2 or 3 days, it seems like. But I'll link his video at the end of this video in the end screen, so you can definitely check his video out. It's a great live stream. And there's a few minutes in that live stream where Dave was really talking about, what is going to come back and what isn't in regards to COVID-19. And he touched upon the fact that, the submarine voyage is not going to ever reopen again. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, it kind of took me back at first, but then I'm like, no, Dave has a great point here, okay? And there's a couple of different things happening here, okay? So the first thing that's happening with the submarine voyage is pre-COVID, right? So pre-COVID, we got a lot of rumors, a lot of talk, a lot of speculation. They were really heating up in regards to a new Tomorrowland being imagined for Disneyland. Even in the Imagineering story, on Disney Plus, at the end of that whole series, in regards to the future of Imagineering, Imagineer Joe Rohde was kind of playing with the Tomorrowland model for Disneyland, really heavily suggesting that a new Tomorrowland is on its way for Disneyland. Now, this was all pre-COVID, okay? Now, I think when it comes to a new Tomorrowland, I think that the Submarine Voyage and Autopia, and I know Dave probably doesn't agree with me on this, but I do think Autopia is also on the chopping block. But the submarines and Autopia, I think, were on the chopping block with any new Tomorrowland, and that was pre-COVID. Okay, it's a lot of real estate. The Submarine Voyage has terrible capacity. The Autopia takes up a lot of real estate, and it's really outdated. I think that those two attractions were really on the chopping block prior to COVID. Okay, so that's part one. Now, part two is after COVID. Now, after COVID, the world has changed completely. Everyone's mindset is differently. Now, you might have gone on the submarine voyage a year ago and never considered it. It's claustrophobic, but you never worry about viruses or anything, like no pandemic or anything like that, right? You would just get on the ride, you would enjoy it, you would get off the ride. Well, everyone's mindset now has changed. It's kind of like after 9/11. Everyone's mindset has changed, and I think people are hyper vigilant now in regards to viruses and illnesses and what have you. And I can't see how people, even after a vaccine has been created for COVID, how they're going to feel comfortable getting in those really cramped, small, musty, humid submarine voyage attraction vehicles. I just don't see it. I mean, it will be a very long time, I think, before people will feel comfortable getting into those ride vehicles. Okay, so I don't think that Submarine Voyage is going to open when Disneyland reopens. I really don't. And I agree with Dave. I think they're going to stay shuttered. And they're going to stay shuttered because A, COVID, there's no way to operate those things. The vehicles would be super spreaders in terms of COVID. And if you operate at a lower capacity, the line, because the capacity already for Submarine Voyage is crap, okay? The line's like a 2-hour line already. If you were to lessen the capacity, the line would be 5 and 6 hours long. They're not going to do that, okay? They're just not going to open it. They're just not going to open it. And I think that because of that, I think they're just going to, hey, look, you know what? Disney's mindset is, hey, we have a new Tomorrowland probably coming in maybe 4 or 5 years, is when they'll start it. People don't want to get into really claustrophobic, musty ride vehicles right now or in the foreseeable future because of COVID. We'll just keep it closed. We'll keep it closed. And then when we're ready to redo our Tomorrowland, then they'll address the space. I think that's a real possibility. It's a real possibility. Now, there's a chance that we're wrong. There's a chance that, the submarines open and they do, lower capacity and whatever. But I really doubt it. I really do. I think the submarine voyage was kind of dead man walking prior to COVID, and I think COVID was really that nail in the coffin. I see no chance of that ride ever returning. okay? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not too upset over it. I'm really not. The Submarine Voyage had a really, really good run. It opened in 1959, and then I think it reopened again with Nemo, I think in like 2006 or 2007. It had a really, really long run, but you know, it's an outdated attraction. It's time for Disney to really reinvent that space and find something better to go in there. And I think with the new Tomorrowland, they really have to start from the ground up, and getting rid of subs and Autopia is part of that reimagining of Tomorrowland. And COVID really was the catalyst that sort of triggered its demise even quicker, you know? So that's what I think. Hey, you know what? Dave's video on this was fantastic, okay? And I'm going to link it in the end cards at the very end of the video. Please do yourself a favor and check it out. It's really, really interesting stuff. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you feel about this situation? Do you feel, do you agree with me that due to the fact that we're getting a new Tomorrowland probably in 4 to 5 years at least, you know, or around that time, and the fact that COVID has sort of changed people's mindsets, do you also agree that, you know, submarines aren't coming back? Or do you disagree? Do you think Disney's going to find a way? They're going to find a way to reopen this attraction, and it's going to be business as usual. If you think that, also comment below. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you all so much for watching. We're almost at 3,000 subs, guys. I can't even believe it. I never would have thought I would have gotten this high up. It's amazing, and I love and thank you guys so much for all your support. Comment, like, subscribe. I do content at Disney all the time, and as always, have a magical day. Bye now.